Raditz and Kakarot face down Lord Slug, who's now been empowered by the dragon on planet Cereal. Orange Slug is quite the fearsome opponent, but with some help from Granola, Kakarot and Raditz were able to defeat him. But now, they hear of a new threat, something that wasn't really confirmed before. Cooler. He exists. Now we're gonna have some more fun. We'll be discussing Cooler and some other things on this part 8 of What If Goku Was Evil. Let's go over to Earth first. The Red Ribbon Army's team of scientists noticed something strange. A solar system very far away. It goes dark. It's like the star just mysteriously disappeared. As the army's been growing stronger and stronger, their tech has been advancing too, allowing them to study things like this. They are aware of aliens after all too, and want to figure out what's going on there. But how is this possible? A star just disappears? News makes way around Earth. The Crane School hears of it of course too. Tenshinhan now leads the Crane School, and it's under much better guidance. He's grown distasteful of the Red Ribbon Army, but they coexist. Although, Ten's worried about something else now too. Yeah, the Red Ribbon Army's there, but his main concern is Kakarot. He still doesn't know what happened there. Where did he go? What's he doing right now? And does it have something to do with the star just somehow disappearing? I mean, people wonder why he's worried over it. Who knows, it could be a black hole or something. But Ten doesn't think so. He knows Kakarot's out there in space, and he knows Kakarot could probably grow very powerful. Did he just blow up a star or something? Well, Ten's right. Kakarot kinda does have something to do with it, but also, at the same time, not really. The Neo Crusher Core is growing stronger and stronger, gathering all the resources it can, and using great research from the scientists that were already part of it, as well as new scientists that have been recruited. They've all been working on one project, and Turles is finally able to do what he wanted. He could harness the energy from stars, growing the Tree of Might on them instead of just regular planets. This is the next step that he needs, a way for him to increase his power even further. Who cares about getting Trees of Mights on planets? That's so outdated now. He wants to do this, and use it to pursue a new evil Saiyan form. The second he eats one of the fruits from one of these stars, he realizes the great increase in power that he has. It's tough to control at first, and it actually hurts to use this form, just because there's so much power overflowing from him, but he'll gain control of it and eat more of these fruits. He doesn't even know what this form really is yet, but he has a name from it, an infernal Saiyan. An evil Saiyan with the power of stars instead of fruits made from planets, with a literal inferno burning inside of him, but he still needs to control his power, and we'll see that later on. Let's go back to Kakarot and see what he and Raditz are up to. After leaving planet Cereal, they're trying to plan their next move. They need to search for Cooler. Where could he be? How could he be undercover for so long? Raditz wonders if it's really a good idea to seek him out. There's no reason to poke Cooler with a stick, just let sleeping dogs lie. If he exists out there, so what? He hasn't interfered with them yet. But at the same time, Kakarot is concerned. What if he will soon? If Cooler is anything like Frieza, even half as bad as him, they need to get rid of him. They can't let him be out there. He's gonna be a wild card. For all they know, he already knows about Frieza's death and is preparing to attack them. Or maybe he doesn't care about Frieza's death. They don't know for sure because they know nothing about the guy. Kakarot said he and Turles always thought he was a rumor, and Raditz says that his Saiyan crew thought the same. Vegeta and Nappa would mention him in passing, but it didn't seem like they even knew anything about him either. Lord Slug even shared the same opinion. But Raditz does remember. Vegeta seemed pretty adamant that Cooler existed. The stories they've all heard are very conflicting. Maybe Cooler did exist and just died somehow, or maybe he does exist and is still out there. But where can they search? Well, they don't really have to go far. They go back to the same planet where Slug's base of operations was. Raditz and Kakarot now own this planet alone. This is where they'll live. It's nice to have a permanent home, for a lack of a better word. This is going to be where they stay from now on. An entire planet dedicated to them, with all the resources they need. Healing, training facilities, supplies, everything. They can use some of the resources they have here, maybe some research that Lord Slug had, or any type of recon devices. Hell, they could even seek out the Dragon Ball somewhere else and try to use them to find Cooler. But they're going to stick with these methods first. Sure enough though, Cooler is out there, and he hears of all this. He hears of Saiyans running about. He's been hearing stories of this for so long. The Crusher Corps, Vegeta and his crew, Kakarot, whoever that is. All these names are being thrown around, and he has no idea of what they're up to. He gets intel later on that the Frieza force has been dissolved. It's only a matter of time before this happened, honestly. He knew this would occur. His brother was too short-sighted and too weak in comparison to him. And honestly, Cooler thinks maybe he could take over that crew. They're a bunch of weaklings. Especially now that he gets word that a Saiyan's running it. Interesting. It must be a Super Saiyan. He doesn't care about that actual crew, but rather the person running it. He doesn't have much information either. From what he hears, there's two Saiyans out there, Kakarot and Turles, or something like that. One of them is apparently running this crew. And with so many Saiyans out there, especially the potential for them being Super Saiyans, he might need to train, and he might need to attack as well. Months pass. Kakarot and Raditz continue their research, while Raditz also pursues evil Saiyan. Although, it's tough. They do need to be low-key about this. There's not too many planets near them to plant trees, but they will plant some. Thankfully, Kakarot does have some seeds left over for that. And they're able to get Raditz some fruits, but if their power gets too strong, they'll definitely be noticed by the Crusher Core. They'll have to find ways to mask their power somehow, or at least keep it in check. Kakarot also does work for Super Saiyan. It could be unique. Eventually he does get it, and like he thought, it's weaker than Evil Saiyan, but whatever. It's probably going to be good to have. Who knows, maybe he could do something pretty interesting with his form, as well as Evil Saiyan. But for the time being, he's not really going to focus on that. But their fears are realized. Even though they're trying to keep their power under check, one day somebody does find them. And it's not the Crusher Core. They see a spaceship nearby. It kind of looks like one that the Frieza Force would use. Or, I guess, the Neo Crusher Core now, since it's them. Kakarot's about to shoot it down, but Raditz tells him to wait. If a ship randomly disappears, they'll definitely know that someone's here. Maybe they're still undercover. And that ship actually does head towards the planet. And they could sense some decently strong powers on it. That's weird. They don't know any of the Neo Crusher Core soldiers that are that strong. In comparison to them, these soldiers are nothing, but still. There's some pretty strong powers and one that's particularly noticeable. 3 warriors step off the ship, striking a pose, introducing themselves as Cooler's armored squadron. Wait, Cooler? So this isn't Turles' crew, and this confirms that Cooler does exist. He's found them. They ask where Cooler is, and the squadron says they don't need to know that. The squadron will deal with these 2 Saiyans. The brothers look at each other and burst out into laughter. They each stick out a finger, launching a flurry of lasers at the feet of the armored squadron. They ask again, where's Cooler? And they sense another power on that ship. Oh, they know where he is. Slowly, someone else steps off. With a casual swipe of his arm, Raditz wipes out the armored squadron, leaving a trail of flames where they once were, and through those flames, someone steps out. A silhouette looking eerily similar to Frieza, and they see 2 beams of light pierce through the fire. A laser is launched at each of them. The flames dissipate as Cooler steps through, with his eyes glowing. He's not too surprised that they wiped out his armored squadron that easily, but it did surprise him to see that they survived his attack, and were able to casually knock it away. Cooler says it looks like he took a little detour, or had some wrong information. He was looking for the Neo Crusher Core. Apparently it's being run by 2 Saiyans. And Kakarot says Cooler's information is way outdated. Interesting. It seems those monkeys had a falling out. But who are these 2? Saiyan brothers who are apparently part of Frieza's crew? Well, even if he had to take this detour, it doesn't matter. He'll kill these 2 and then go out to the Neo Crusher Core, killing Turles. He must be the real strong Saiyan out here. Cooler only came to these 2 because he sensed their power, which is still pretty high for a Saiyan, but not high enough to concern him. Raditz smirks. Cooler feared the power of a Super Saiyan, didn't he? And Cooler perks up when hearing this. Not scared, he's just intrigued to hear this. So a Super Saiyan is real. Raditz sticks a fist out in front of him and charges ki as he powers up, transforming into his Super Saiyan. For a brief moment, Cooler is intrigued by the power, but as he senses it further, he then smiles. A Super Saiyan. It's definitely powerful, but not as powerful as he expected, especially compared to him. He sticks out a hand and beckons Raditz towards him. How about a nice fight between the 2 of them? As Raditz launches in, he showcases even more power, and Cooler's taken aback. That wasn't his full strength. At first, Raditz is able to get some good hits in. Cooler's base form isn't nearly enough to fight a Super Saiyan. He underestimated the power of Raditz. And Kakarot watches on, pretty calmly. This seems like it's Cooler's final form. I mean, it looks like what Frieza had. And if this is the extent of his power, Raditz will definitely be able to handle him. But something changes mid-battle. An ominous ki starts surrounding Cooler. Raditz delivers a punch, but Cooler sticks an arm out, blocking it without any effort. As his arm bulks up, with his other arms then following suit, Cooler laughs, his eyes turn a piercing red color, and his body starts morphing. He sees what's happening now. They thought that was his final form, not even close. He screams as he powers up, looking at the 2 Saiyans and telling them,
"You should feel honored. You're the first, and soon to be the last, to witness my ultimate transformation."
A mask then covers his face as Cooler shows off his true final form. Raditz punches Cooler again, hitting him right in the chest. But Cooler looks down at the fist and is just completely unfazed.
"Well then, ready to kneel?"
He grabs Raditz's arm, swinging him around midair. He flings Raditz away, about to collide with Kakarot, but Raditz stops himself midair. And Kakarot sees he's probably gonna have to jump in too. He powers up, going into Super Saiyan. 2 Super Saiyans. How amusing. The 2 fight Cooler together, and he's surprisingly powerful, being able to fend off 2 Super Saiyans at once, especially with Kakarot being so much stronger than Raditz, even in Super Saiyan alone. They wonder how Cooler is this strong and remained undercover for so long. He's much stronger than Frieza ever was, and Cooler says they shouldn't compare him to Frieza. He's much more different than his brother. He laughs. They thought they could defeat him because they defeated Frieza before, and Kakarot tells him that's true. It was him and Turles that did so. That makes Cooler laugh even more. Raditz wasn't even involved in that. Why would he think he's strong enough to defeat Cooler then? He doesn't know the full details of the fight or whatever, but he doesn't care. The point is, a Super Saiyan isn't strong enough to face him. But Kakarot says he's not using his full power either. Cooler truly seems dangerous, so there's no point messing with him anymore. Cooler points a finger at both Raditz and Kakarot, launching a death beam from each. A fiery aura surrounds Kakarot. He lunges forward. The death beam coming in his direction is then slapped away, hitting the other death beam. They explode midair before they could hit Raditz. And Cooler perks up once more. What's this? His aura's changed. Is this another evolution of Super Saiyan? Well, not completely. Kakarot fully powers up, showing off Evil Saiyan. He and Turles never even really came up with a name for this form. But he tells Cooler this is his true full power, and the two start exchanging blows, pretty equally actually. But as the fight continues, Kakarot begins getting the upper hand, and Kakarot tells Cooler he's impressed. His brother wouldn't have been able to fight a single Super Saiyan, let alone two at once, but this power of his, Super Saiyan pales in comparison to it, and he starts landing some good hits on Cooler, damaging him. But Kakarot asks mid-battle, how is he so much stronger than Frieza, and why did he never utilize that power? Cooler says he can never associate with his brother, or King Cold for that matter, and as they could see, that clearly benefited him. Cooler's been out, enjoying life, still being able to conquer whatever he wants, and being stronger than his brother. And even without that final form, they noted that he's stronger than Frieza, and Cooler says the gap in power wasn't always that big. He reveals something interesting. Unlike his brother, he actually trained a lot. His brother was some sort of mutant. He never trained a day in his life, but if he did, he would have grown exponentially powerful. And as for Cooler, he has some great potential too. Not to the extent of his brother, but good enough. And ever since he heard about the Saiyans, he's been training. For a few years now, actually. Oh, so that kind of explains his power. But for him to be this strong just by training on his own? Something doesn't add up here. Why is he only attacking now? And Cooler's confused by this question. What, do they think he's an idiot? Why would he attack early on? Yeah, he might have been able to win then, but this way, he assures victory. Wait, what does he mean by that? He's losing right now. Even though he's fully transformed, Kakarot still has a clear upper hand. There's no way that Cooler can win here. And Cooler sees what Kakarot's saying now. Oh, that's why he's confused. He thinks Cooler's at his full power. Wait, this isn't his full power? But he said he had a form beyond Frieza's. Kakarot continues attacking, even bringing Cooler to his knees. Cooler's on the ground, seemingly beaten, but he looks up at Kakarot, as Kakarot charges a beam in his face. He stares down Kakarot as he rises upwards, grabbing Kakarot's hand and trying to crush it. Cooler lifts his other arm up. It seems he miscommunicated with them. This is a form beyond his brother's, but it's not the last form he has beyond that. His training has been quite fruitful. He lifts up 2 fingers on his other hand. 2 forms. He has 2 more forms than his brother. This was only one of them. Kakarot jerks his hand back. He starts to feel being crushed by Cooler, but is able to escape his grip in time. Lightning starts striking everywhere around them. And Kakarot realizes it's now or never. He looks at Raditz. Attack. Use all of his power. Do whatever he can. Raditz starts launching a flurry of ki blasts, while Kakarot also charges his own attacks. Smoke is thrown up all around them, with an ominous glow surrounding Cooler. He seems completely unfazed by their attacks. All they can see is his eyes piercing through, as lightning continues striking around them. All the smoke around Cooler completely dissipates, being flung away by his powerful aura. And all the attacks from the Saiyan brothers, it doesn't even seem like they're hurting him anymore. Actually, it doesn't even seem like they're hitting him at all. The sky turns dark, and all they see is Cooler's silhouette, with his eyes shifting from a reddish color to a bluish color, piercing through the darkness. The eyes disappear, but they see it for a brief moment, illuminated by his aura. They're stunned with fear. Where did he go? But behind them, they hear a menacing voice, and they turn around, still stunned.
I'm not short-sighted like my brother. I will be sure to exterminate every last one of you!
In a rare moment, Kakarot's concerned, fearful actually. Cooler tells them. He decided on a color that he felt would be pretty intimidating. The color of this form. It's quite fitting. It's the absence of light, like the void of space. Briefly illuminated by the fierce lightning storms, they get a glimpse of Cooler's new form, as Cooler introduces it to them. This is Black Cooler, and this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what'd you guys think about this part? And what's gonna happen next? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.